M.D. Srinivas, Chairman of the Board of Governors, Lalitha, the Principal, and all of you here who have come here to witness a felicitation function that we're having today for her. The response is overwhelming. Well, I know her for about 9 years. I came in as secretary of the college in February of 2014, and it's been a very eventful 9 years. I would say that I would have spent, if I calculate the number of days that I've spent with her, it would be close to about 1,500 days a year in the 9 years. And I must also admit that I haven't spent that much time in my own office, with anybody in my own office. Instead of sharing my interaction that I've had with her, let me just put forth a few traits that I think most of you know, but let me just summarize it from my end. Well, she has amazing ability to put a point across. She'll be able to convince me on anything that she thinks is doable, should be done, and I get convinced. The video did mention this, but I want to be clear. She has a very clear thought about what the M.O.P should be doing, or the sequence of things that M.O.P should be doing. And I think that is evident from the fact that over the 9 years, from about 3,000 students, if my memory is right, we have now reached around 4,000 students with extra additional courses that have been indicated in the video. So very clear thought of what it should be done. Very innovative. Out of the blue, the idea of the awards, out of the blue, the ideas of X, Y, Z. And I couldn't refuse because all of them seemed very interesting, very apt, and it did turn out to be very successful too. While she had the ability to convince people, she also had the ability to take a contrary view. So it is very rare to find people at the leadership level to accept or take a contrary view, but in my case at least, I know that she took views that she didn't agree with quite well, and she later agreed that it was the right view. Most of you would know that she has innate ability to grasp things very quickly, very quickly. I mean, you don't even have to complete the sentence and she understands it. That was something which I found very interesting. It was much easy then because I didn't have to do too much of explanation of what I had in mind. The video also mentioned, I'm repeating it again, but she had this ability to keep herself updated, not only on education, but I think on every aspect of news that got her attention. Maybe it was sports, mostly cricket and tennis. But then one fine day she will find some mistake in my paper and mention, oh, there was a mistake here, you know. So she had an ability to keep herself updated. And the last and not the least, phenomenal memory, phenomenal. I mean, I won't be surprised if I ask her if we admitted somebody 10 years, I mean, on 2014, she will know the name of that girl and which course. It's amazing because we admit close to 1,000 students every year, and there are about 4,000 students in the college. And I'm sure she would know at least names of 3,000 people in this college with their face in her mind. With this, I think these are the small things that I had in mind to tell you all. It's been a great interaction that I've had with her, and I must say that she's taken the college much ahead of the expectations the management had and I had. And I would like to congratulate her, and I would not like to tell her to take a retired life. I would like to say that she must take an active retired life. Thank you.
So the initial years, there was some teething problems, as it happens in the building of any big institution. And then came the formidable team from Metraj. Two stalwarts. It was like Rutraj Gaikwad and Devan Convoy coming together. We had Dr. Nirmala Prasad and Dr. Lalitha Balakrishnan coming into the scene. Now, to the credit of Dr. Nirmala Prasad, she built a good institution. And her comrade in arms standing next to her and supporting her all through was none other than Dr. Lalitha Balakrishnan. So, it was this pair which took the institution to a good institution. And I remember talking once to Dr. Nirmala Prasad. She was a very good friend of mine, as was Dr. Lalitha. And I told her, look, your college is doing very well. Why don't you start all these science courses? Everybody is talking of BSc Microbiology, MSc Microbiology, BSc Biochemistry, MSc Biochemistry. Why don't you start all that? Sir, all these lab courses are white elephant. They take money. Whereas we are not an aided college. We know what is our strength. And we want to build on our strength. Clear focus, which Dr. Lalitha has been continuing. Stay focused on commerce, management, economics, arts, and not the sciences, right? So there was the exit of Dr. Nirmala Prasad. And as was mentioned, after Ponniyin Selvan 1 comes Ponniyin Selvan 2, from PS1 to PS2. I don't know how many of you have read this book by James Collins. From good to great. Oh, great students or great teachers. From good to great. What was given to Dr. Lalitha Balakrishnan was a good institution, and what she has made it is into a great institution. That is where she stands, right? To me, as a university professor, what impresses me is the way she has elevated and brought research, PhD programs to the college. The number of new PhD programs which have come in, the departments which have come in, that to me is the yardstick. How did Dr. Lalitha Balakrishnan convert a good institution into a great institution? As they say in Kung Fu Panda, what is the secret sauce? The secret sauce is very simple. She is one of the most sought after experts in NAC. She is such a brilliant, see, you talk of steering M.O.P through NAC. That is only half the story. She is an expert member of NAC and has been visiting colleges across India. So you go to big colleges, you see them in Delhi, in Calcutta, in Bombay, you see what are all the good practices going on there, capture it, bring it and implement it. That is what she has done. And that's how this institution has gone up from being a good institution to a great institution. So hats off to you, ma'am. Now, so far, I've been talking of Dr. Lalitha's contribution to M.O.P, which probably I'm carrying coal to Newcastle. But what I should really be talking about is, I represent the university and the Madras University, and I still consider myself to be like that. And so I have to talk about her contribution to Madras University. First, I am from the same faculty which she is. I was a professor and head of the Department of Management Studies, MBA program. And so I have known her for the last 3 decades. And whenever we have our board of studies and all that, she will always be there, present there, and she will be making such beautiful contribution. The points which she will bring to the table, she will do her homework, come and contribute, and all her contribution has been useful not only for M.O.P, for all the so many affiliated colleges attached to us, it has been immensely beneficial. So as the faculty head of management studies, I thank you specially for that. The second is her ability. See, M.O.P and particularly Dr. Lalitha is known for organizing the events. An event like this, somebody calls me and says, sir, when are you coming? Sir, have you arrived? Sir, can we meet you and bring you up? This kind of meticulous planning no college is able to do. And when Madras University wants to conduct big events, we want to conduct a convocation, and of course we will be getting chief ministers for whom we will be conferring doctorates. For that kind of a program, the VC will ask, simple answer, please call M.O.P sir. Nobody else will be able to organize that, and every time they will come and they will help Madras University conduct all the very big events. I've seen Dr. Lalitha helping on so many occasions on all those big events. And for that, once again, I thank you, ma'am. And the last but not the least, to be appointed, nominated by His Excellency, the governor of Tamil Nadu, the chancellor of the University of Madras, a person to the syndicate of the University of Madras is the highest honor. It is not just a joke, because that post is not meant only for academicians. Anybody from any walk of life can be appointed there. But she has been admired for her talent, recognized and put there, and inside the syndicate, her contribution has been immense, right? Madam, as was pointed out to you, this innings is over, but the next innings is going to begin, and it's going to be glorious. So I take this opportunity, when M.A. Balakrishnan sir is here, it feels as if Parsati Perumal is here. So I invoke our Parsati Perumal and Rukmani Tayar and Vedavali Tayar to bless you with all good things in life, happiness in your life, and in all your pursuits. Once again, a big thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. I request Principal Ma'am to hand over a memento to Dr. P.T. Srinivasan.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for all your stupendous efforts in making what M.O.P is today. If each one of us can say that we are a part of M.O.P with a great sense of pride, it is primarily because of your dedication to make M.O.P one of the premier colleges to both study as well as work. The learnings that we have gained from you, both as an individual and as a leader, will surely stand by us for an entire lifetime, ma'am. Thanks for making our lives eventful for the past decade, ma'am. I mean eventful both literally and figuratively, because, I have heard of one thing about the Sri Rangam temple that almost every 365 days there's something or the other going on, some special puja. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, that sounds like M.O.P, because every day in and day out we've been having some event or the other activities where ma'am would just conjure up just like that wonderful activities, wonderful events, which have been great learning for us. So thank you, ma'am, for bringing all those learned people, all those celebrities, all those people with whom we could have a wonderful knowledge-sharing experience. But on the same note, but this is one event that my mind was just not willing to start organizing, as we really can't imagine an M.O.P without you, ma'am. I told you that in the very beginning, it's when we started planning for this event. Every single day, we would go back home with the satisfaction of doing something good, great for the students as well as the teaching community. I heard Harsha Bogle, the famous cricket commentator, saying that, he was asked to talk about, in a few words, about the various cricket captains of India. And when it came to a particular person, he said, oh, he's from a different planet. I don't have to tell you who that is, but it was not MS Dhoni's face which flashed by when I heard that. It was Lalitha ma'am's face which flashed by, because a zillion times I would have always, whenever I deal with her, I would always think, oh my God, where is she from? Which planet is she from? How can she be so cool, so composed, and how can she bring up so many wonderful things? So I, for one, have had the privilege of working with ma'am in close quarters for almost a decade, and I've been really stumped by the cool and composed way in which ma'am handles all the googlies, the yorkers, the bouncers, the in-swingers, all with the same ease. I really wonder how that happens. If MS Dhoni is the X factor for CSK, then for M.O.P, it is definitely Lalitha ma'am. And how would I forget NAC? When, I still remember the date, June 24th, when we opened the NAC guidelines book, and we were all mind-boggled with the amount of work and the volume of, documents that needs to be prepared. And we were kind of taken aback for a minute. And here comes Lalitha ma'am, very cool, composed, and says, come on, we can do it. And that's the confidence that we've had through Lalitha ma'am, and we sailed through it with so much ease, though in beginning we were mind-boggled, but she played like a chess game. She moved the coins so perfectly. She taught us how things has to be done, how we need to project ourselves, how we need to, work around things, and how we can make things happen. That was an extraordinary experience. And when we hit the submit button, it was an exhilarating experience for all that we had gone through. She taught us to enjoy the journey. She taught us how we need to, at the end of it, I guess it was only M.O.P in the entire country who would have enjoyed the process of submitting NAC. I'm sure it was that, because it was such a great learning at the end of it. And come the results day, when all of us were waiting with bated breath and so tensed as to what's going to happen, how will it be, what will be the results. And ma'am very coolly came and told us, yes, it was an A++. And here we were, all of us screaming our lungs out and, jumping to the skies. We turned back and saw, I still remember the look that ma'am had on her face. As usual, the cool, composed Lalitha ma'am. She said, why are you so excited? I knew it, because we had it all, we've done it all, and why do you have to be so excited? I knew it's going to happen. That was the kind of look that ma'am had. That's because the confidence that she carries and she passes on to us also. I could go on and on like this with all that ma'am has accomplished, but I have put down only few of my thoughts. The rest are there in our hearts, ma'am. I think we made a great mistake. We should have actually started this program in the morning, because there's so much to say about ma'am, and I'm sure it will go on. All her accomplishments and contributions to M.O.P. And to the academic world is endless. We owe it all to you, ma'am. Thank you so much. For every M.O.P.N, it is Tala Lalitha, ma'am. So, always, thanks a million, ma'am, for being our very own Captain Cool, and I'm sure we will carry on all this in the years to come. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, your journey at M.O.P has been truly phenomenal, dotted with challenges, aspirations, accolades, and achievements. Progression was your vision and the key mantra which steered you to be the most inspirational leader of this illustrious institution. Ma'am, under your flagship initiatives, the students were beneficiaries of an enriched curriculum, international internships, exchange programs, and found multiple opportunities to showcase their talents in curricular and extracurricular activities. Sports and the cultural fervor at M.O.P was propelled to newer heights. Ma'am, to the faculty, you were an ATM, anytime mentor, and amidst all your busy schedules, you were always available for us, truly approachable, considerate, and warm. You definitely had a magic wand, ma'am. Whatever was the query we had, you had an instant solution to it. You ensured that all the departments enjoyed a fair share of importance, and the confidence and trust you placed in the faculty was evident in the autonomy we enjoyed and truly paved the way for enriching the curriculum. You were most encouraging and supportive in all our endeavors, and we are ever grateful for that, ma'am. The faculty, we recall and are grateful for the thoughtful ways in which you aided our progression, whether it was academically, financially, or personally, you were there for us. We consider it our proudest privilege to have worked under your leadership, ma'am, to be part of your team. I would say that we are the most privileged among all the stakeholders, because the students would be for a particular period and then pass on. There may be a change in the management members whom you closely work on with, but we, the faculty, are the most privileged who have worked on with you for years together, and I assure you we have learnt a lot from you, ma'am. Academically, we benefited from the numerous opportunities you brought us in terms of the faculty development programs, seminars, workshops, international networking opportunities. Financially, we received welfare in terms of the increments, incentives, and the choicest of Diwali gifts. And personally, ma'am, you have been a great teacher, and we have learned a lot working along with you and received your immense support during personal contingencies. Thank you so much, ma'am. M.O.P stands tall today and strong with a A++ degree, which is the witness to the pinnacle of your vision of progression. Ma'am, you leave behind a legacy which is hard to match. Today, as we proudly celebrate your contributions, we also salute you as the doyen of M.O.P. Thank you, ma'am. We wish you all the best.
Happy day and a very pleasant evening to all of you here. Neither this stage, nor this auditorium, nor this podium is alien to me. But today I'm scared if I would be able to deliver a proper acceptance speech. Anyway, I have this paper for support. Thank you all at the outset for coming. I know it's very difficult, especially on a Saturday evening, to be here and listen to somebody else being praised all the time. I know it is not easy, especially considering this is the only Saturday in May perhaps that you don't have an IPL match to watch. Dear friends, respected members of the management, and I'm so glad to see all of you here, both from the VV Sabha and the M.O.P charities. Of course, I miss the ones who are not there, but I'm so grateful to Haridas ji, Ashok Mundra ji, Goenka ji, Ashok Kedia ji, Dhamani ji, Hitesh Kunundi ji, MDS sir, and dear Secretary sir. I'm so happy to see all of you here. From the University of Madras, present and former syndicate members, well-wishers, teaching, non-teaching staff, alumni, students, friends, and not the least, but the most lovable family members as well. Thank you so much for all your presence here. It gives me a lot of strength to see all of you when I probably make my last speech on this podium. It's a very charged atmosphere, and I was really thrilled to see the documentary. I know Mr. Krishna Kumar worked over it even till late this morning. Thank you so much for adding all the relevant information. People keep adding and then it is difficult. Thank you to Dr. Uttra and Dr. Anureka for putting it together as well. I didn't know there were so many things about me that I knew as well. Glorious accolades. So many nice things. Good to hear. But though I accept them with grace, I would like to say that there have been a lot of hands which have held me and catapulted me to this level. I definitely cannot accept the whole share of all this. I need to mention those that propelled me to being here in front of you today. Let me start at the very beginning. My parents. My father was a strict disciplinarian, and if it was bedtime at 9 o'clock, it was that. Whatever happened after that, you couldn't do anything about it. Thank God there was no IPL matches then. With my craze for cricket, I would have really suffered. But the value systems he instilled in me are there, strong and secure. In fact, in a conference I was said, you and your middle class values, but I stand by them and I shall stand by them always. And that is what we have in our value education syllabus also. To be what you are, be convinced and speak your mind. My mother. She actually wanted to study a lot, but family circumstances did not enable her to do that. Whatever she wanted to do, I think she got it done through me, her daughter. And if I was able to get those first ranks and gold medals, it was because I wanted to do it for her. When she was there, and when we had to, those days we had a lot of rote learning of nice poems and things like that, which I still remember. She learned those lessons through my books. And so I had to make her proud, and that is why you see. So the entire credit for whatever I did in school and college actually goes to her. I should not take any credit for that. And more than anything else, she put me in a wonderful school. Probably the best school that was there in the city, and I have so many Rosarians sitting here in the gallery, each one of them doing so well in their respective fields. If all of us have turned out to be able to accomplish something, then definitely the credit should go to the school. The M.O.P. Sansad, the elections, especially the process, I borrowed from Rosary School. The various clubs you told me about, Kaushal Kendra, which I had launched, Idea, Rosary Matriculation. So there are so many things I need to be grateful to the school for, my teachers, my sister principals, who all were strict disciplinarians. They made us study. In fact, sister used to walk out of the room and say, don't think you can copy in this test. God is watching. And we didn't even know who the God she was referring to was, whether it was my God or her God or somebody else's God. But we believed that God was watching and we never did anything wrong. But you know what today's students are like. That is why we have strengthened the value education syllabus. After school came college, and there I met my teacher, mentor, guru, Dr. Nirmala Prasad. That was the turning point in my life. My entire higher education, I have 4 post-graduation degrees, were all under her tutelage. And it was under her I did my PhD. Of course, for PhD, I also had the guidance of Professor Bala V. Balachandran, who founded the Great Lakes Institute of Management. And he was a great source of inspiration. He used to take me along with his US students. And doing PhD that way was totally different and a wonderful, enriching experience. Students of Kellogg University and I used to walk together when I was doing my PhD. I'm indebted to both Dr. Nirmala Prasad and Dr. Bala Balachandran for my PhD. For my career, I owe it entirely to Dr. Nirmala Prasad. I was teaching under her headship in Ethiraj College, and when she moved to M.O.P., I followed like Mary had a little lamb. And the opportunities she gave here for me to develop are innumerable. But she always used to tell me, Lalitha, I give those opportunities to so many people, but I haven't seen anyone seize those opportunities with both hands like you do. That was the compliment she used to pay to me. And that was the regard she had for me. And I bow down to her in salutation today. I wish she was here. The best tribute probably I have paid to Dr. Nirmala Prasad's memory is not just resting on the laurels of the college, but adding my own contribution and taking the college to greater heights. I'm sure as a teacher, she will be proud of me. When I talk about the management, apart from the people who are sitting here who have always been kind and lent a patient hearing to whatever I had, I must mention Parthasarathi sir. He often used to come to my room and sit opposite to me and he said, you do whatever you've been doing, madam, but I want to sit here and when you have the time, I will talk to you. He will then say, okay, I will go to the US Consulate Library or British Council Library and come back. In my curiosity, like Manoj sir mentioned, I cannot restrict myself from asking questions. So I asked sir, because when I got into close contact with Parthasarathi sir, he'd already passed 95 years. Why are you reading 3 books in a day? He'll say, if I find something interesting, I can bring it to you and you can use it for the benefit of the students. That is why I read. That is the sort of association and that is the sort of people that I had to, deal with on a daily basis. Then why won't I get all those awards and accolades? Because it was all the reading which Parthasarathi sir had done and passed it on to me. All that I had to do was listen to him and that I did. The other members of the management have been not just kind, they have involved me in their family programs, they have called me for pujas, and there have been so many interactions during the meetings, etc. And all of them are at least 10, 15 years older than I am. But still, when I had a point to raise, they have lent a patient hearing, and we have had discussions, especially in admission committee meetings. They have never let the institution down. If 85% is fixed for a principal quota merit candidate, The same or more marks is fixed for a management quota candidate. In which other management can you find something like this? If M.O.P has branded students or students who develop the brand of M.O.P, like PTS sir said, it is thanks to the principles of the managing committee members that we have here who are always only thinking of raising the standard at M.O.P Vaishnav College. When I talk about the management, I must have a special word for Secretary Sir. He said he took over in 2014, maybe a couple of months. I was principal in charge when when Mr. M.L. Gupta was there. But when in fact, he announced in the meeting that I was the principal, and I was overawed. A person of his caliber, grandson of Mr. Ramnath Goenka, chairman and managing director of the Indian Express Group of Publications, and I have to sit and talk to him. I wouldn't even know whether I have to sit or stand or what can I do in front of him. But he put me at ease, and it is his inspiration, his freedom that he has given, that I could operate, I could come up with ideas. He'll say, think different, think different. And when people call me innovative, I think the entire credit should go to you, sir, for all the encouragement that you have given. Thank you so much for all the support over the years. And that has taken the college to this great heights. In the audience, Mr. Ashok Mundra, I must also mention, especially in the Silver Jubilee celebrations, he said, Ma, you do it even bigger than this, Ma. Why are you thinking only of this auditorium? You can even do it bigger. You can even do it better. And then we came up with such a lovely program, especially the cultural program. I think the staff members in charge of that, Dr. Jayashree, would take credit for that. It was so beautifully organized, and we went by the clock. Dr. P.T. Srinivasan mentioned that how the functions are organized at M.O.P. I am just not bragging, the absolute truth. We started when the clock showed 6 and we ended when the clock showed 8. That was what the function was supposed to be. Today, if we have exceeded time, that is because of the love and affection. The people are not able to curtail and they want to just shower it on me. So please bear with them for that. Amongst our well-wishers, I want to talk about the speakers. Dr. P.T. Srinivasan. Yes, we have had wonderful meetings in Board of Studies, and the way he used to summarize, whenever I get a chance, I tell him that. He would be the last speaker after any board, and he would point by point take everyone to shreds. And then we would wonder what had we been doing sitting in the meeting all the time. But the way he organized and prepared the minutes has come in so handy for me, sir, to collate my thoughts, organize them, and then put it down before I actually share them with the others. Because what is the point in putting across a thought which is going to be, dispelled by the members there? So think, analyze, and then put it across in a meeting. That is what I learned from him. Professor Thirumagan has been a colleague on the syndicate, and he knows very well, being in the most important body for the university because it decides on the fate of so many colleges, how important it is to conduct yourself in a very nice manner in the syndicate. That is what we all learned. Yes, we have served under 2-3 vice chancellors. Even in the same syndicate membership, we had 2 vice chancellors with whom we had to deal with. There would be people who thought raising the voice meant others would turn to them. But in the syndicate, I learned that if your point should be made, you can even talk softly, but as long as it is a correct point, right from the higher education secretary to the vice chancellor to the registrar, they will listen to what you are speaking. Your point has to be that good. Your tone does not matter at all, and that is what we learned in the syndicate. Other principals who have turned up, Mr. Vijay Kumar, who's always been for the various lectures, he'll say, Madam, you please come for this, Madam. It's a very good lecture. We've got someone so good. You have to come. And for the number of speakers they have provided us for the various seminars, a big thanks to you. My colleagues, first I will finish the colleagues from the outside who teach MBA. I have a soft corner for my department, MBA. Various teachers. I'm glad Dr. Soundarya Rajesh is here, because she went through a bad patch as far as her health was concerned. still you have taken time off to be here. So also Dr. Gauri, Mr. Krishnan, Mr. Rajesh, Mr. Arun Dave, Mr. Mohanasundaram, who's always, he's almost part of the department only, Mr. Pattabhiraman. So we are very happy that you all took time to be here. I'm so glad that Ms. Lakshmi, who's the CEO of the Indian Express, is here. And I'm very happy for the many opportunities you have given our students, our skill trainers, everybody to be here for a felicitation function is giving a lot. And I'm grateful for the love and affection you have showed me. Coming to my team. Once upon a time, Ricky Ponting's Australian cricket team was supposed to be the best. They used to say, even in a World Cup, they'll take the pictures, hand over the trophy to the Australian team and then say, all of you just play here as net practice, etc. But even Ponting would be ashamed if he came to M.O.P. Vaishnav College, because such is the strength of the M.O.P. team. Whether it is teaching, technical, non-teaching, class 4, you name it, there can't be a competition to beat this team. Yes, all of them spoke about NAC. I must also share my thoughts on that. We had a couple of mock NAC visits before the actual team came. And all of them said, you will get an A+, madam. You have done well. But we were not going to settle for an A+. Our aim was A++, and we thought we will get that. He said, then you have to work really hard on the day the team comes. We had an emergency meeting of the criterion heads, and I said, this is your target. You are making and you are getting those points. And each one owned up their responsibilities so well. We wanted to do it. We were determined to do it. And when nobody in the outside world believed that M.O.P. could do it, in that tug of war, we crossed the finish line. I don't think any other team could have that confidence, because the only thing which mattered at that point was our determination to succeed. Today, Stella Maris College has an A+. Ethiraj College has an A+. They are all more than 75 years old. DG Vaishnav College and Loyola College have an A++. But there again, M.O.P. CGPA is greater than that of even Loyola College and DG Vaishnav College. In the whole of Madras University area, M.O.P. is the only self-financing college to have a hat-trick of A++, including one in their last cycle, which is the 4th cycle. With this sort of a team, anybody can work wonders. So again, why are you giving the leader the credit? It is the entire work of the team. And I was also part of the team, and that is why we made it. Students and alumni. Students have always been brand ambassadors. And Professor P.T. Srinivasan, I told you, is very, very smart. He knows that when I go on any autonomy or NAC visit, I bring in those best practices. So before the NAC came, we created the alumni wall. And then we realized how important it is to celebrate the alumni. How important, because I've seen this admission time when students or prospective students came with their parents, they looked at that wall and they were so happy, and that would inspire them to one day get onto that, their picture to go up on that wall. So there are good ideas in every institution. It is up to us to take that and emulate that. Thank you so much to my students and alumni. Support of the family. My parents are no more, but my brother is there, and I walked with him every inch of the way. We've fought, we've had wordy discussions, but he's always been there for me. Thank you so much. And after marriage, I got 3 more brothers. So through my mother-in-law, 3 sons who were born along with my husband, they are also there to celebrate my felicitation. Thank you so much. My son has come all the way from Dubai, and he said, I have to be here. His wife and daughter could not come because she has to go to school. So, and she is very fond of her school, and she gets every Friday full marks in her dictation, and she calls up and informs that she has got full marks in her dictation. Now you know why I am so particular about spellings. All my faculty say, ma'am, this is only a draft, I haven't done the spell check. So that is how we train. Spellings and dictation, we start at a young age so that you don't make a mistake at all. Thank you so much, Ashwath, for coming. Because, and he was the one who said, yes, if you have to go from M.O.P, I know it is difficult. 26 years walking down the same path, 26 years seeing Pilayar and then going to the room or department or wherever it has been. And suddenly you realize from first, no, you don't have to go there. Yes, it would be sad. But he said, when people are celebrating you, you should leave when people say, why? Why is she leaving? Why is she going? Rather than, oh my God, is she still there? Why has she not left? That shouldn't be it. Thank you, Ashwath, for those timely pieces of advice that you have given. My Samandhi was here, but he's a very busy person, and I was happy he could stay for some time at least. But they've been very understanding in-laws for my son. And this sari that I'm wearing today, his mother-in-law got for me and said, you wear this, you do this. For me, it is very easy to follow instructions because I concentrate on the college like you all said. So they say, you eat this, you wear this, you do this. It's very convenient for me. Thank you so much, Indu, for this lovely sari. The last but not the least, my husband. He has always been a great support. When I did my PhD, he would read those articles along with me, and he said, you have to read this also and see how it benefits your PhD. When we were doing NAC, he'll also say, did you do this? Did you follow up on this? Did you complete this? He would also be following up. But the only thing, he said, now NAC is over and all these papers are still lying on these bookshelves. I want to keep my books here. Now please take those papers away. But he's been a wonderful source of support. And it was he who instilled in me the fact that good leaders lead good teams. But a great leader is one who develops other leaders. And I'm sure with his thoughts and with Secretary Sir always motivating me, I can probably claim that, and some of you also said, so I will just take it from there, because I don't let any good things go. To be a great leader, because we have good leaders to follow. Stand up, Dr. Archana Prasad. My very best wishes to you. Keep M.O.P shining. Thank you so much, all of you, for all the love and affection. And if I missed out anyone, it is not intentional. Probably I also got overawed by the moment. Thank you so much. Nandri, Dhanyavad, Jai Hind.
Ma'am, it's an honor to give you a standing ovation.